It's the only veteran-owned bike shop in Colorado Springs, located right downtown in the Ivywild neighborhood. It's where Carl resides. Coming up next on Pedal the Springs podcast, we're going to be talking with Bicycle Experience. Welcome and roll on in to the Pedal the Springs podcast, where we talk about all things biking in Colorado Springs and the Pikes Peak region. I'm your host, Tori Giffen, and what I don't know about biking in this area, my friends do. And here are today's guests. We have the shop owner of Bicycle Experience, Todd Hood. Yep. Let's give it up, Todd. Yeah.
Thanks for having us, Tori.
Thank you. And
with me today, I got Brandon, my manager.
How you doing?
Do it all, suspension guru and everything else I need him to do. And then I got a couple great longtime guys here with us that are huge supporters of the shop since the beginning. We got Dan Soteres and Rob Frisbie.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, guys. So glad. I know it means a lot, especially when your customers are just out there and your best ambassadors. So thank you so much for coming on the show. I like what you said that, you like Bicycle Experience. You told me earlier that, you like to bike, but you don't want to fix your own bike.
Yeah, I think Danny and I are testament to that. So we carry all the gear Danny had mentioned before to fix things, but we hope to have guys like this help put the bikes back together. So, yeah.
And it's right in your neighborhood. So it's kind of the neighborhood shop for you, which is really what your intention was, right, Todd?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Corner bike shop, brick and mortar. It's actually funny. He's got a shop up in Monument where I used to live. So we would just basically trade places when we commuted into work in the morning. He dropped his bike off before he went to work every day.
Well, we have a couple of sprinter vans, so we could see each other on the highway. And you just wave. It's like, oh, yeah, my bike's there. And, pick it up on the way home.
Yeah.
So.
That's great. So tell me a little bit about how you came to own Bicycle Experience, Todd.
It's a long testament of love for wanting to own your own business, I think, and realizing that 20 years retired from the Army, going to Pikes Peak Community College, I knew I just needed to get out of school and just go do something. So when the opportunity arose, we just jumped on it and just did whatever we had to do to get it going. And fortunately, the last owner, John Straub, was wanting to go back home to Florida. And, I just looked at the shop as it was something that I was going to grow and make awesome. So we've just been building upon the idea of, a small little local bike shop. Every year it's gotten better. And, weathering the storm during COVID was a huge testament of who was working at the shop and, navigating all the difficult times. But, I think perseverance has just always been our number one thing, and just keep it going.
So I have a little story because I think it was about 13 years ago we figured that out. So my now 17-year-old, we had just taken him to take a kid mountain biking day out at Palmer Park, and he rode that whole course as like a 4 or 5-year-old, rode the whole course with training wheels on his bike. And he tore it up. I mean, he tore it up. But we were like, we got to get this kid out of the training wheels. And so I was looking for a place to go because kids grow out of bikes so fast. And I think you guys kind of came to the shop a similar way. But we're like, I don't want to buy a brand new bike. And everybody in town at that time, and I know you don't do the used bikes bikes anymore, but at that time you were doing used bikes. And my son and I went to Bicycle Experience, and we got his first mountain bike at Bicycle Experience. And Alan Beauchamp, who we also call Mr. Bicycle Colorado Springs, happened to be there shopping at the shop that day. And next thing you know, we're in the parking lot across from your shop, and my son learned how to ride without training wheels for the first time ever. And then we went over to Ivywild. It's really nice when you have a brewery next door to your bike shop. You know, it's a good way to start there. Yeah. We went right across the street, and he bought my son a root beer, you know, for doing his first ride without training wheels. But so you have a soft spot in my heart because my kid got his first bike from your shop. But I understand that like the used market is a challenging one because you never know where those bikes came from.
Yeah. I think, it's a lot of perception out there. And I think just over time, changing the way our business looked, making it look a lot cleaner around the edges, and being a little bit more proud of the product that we're selling. And Brandon's been a huge part of that, him and his now wife, Kelsey, and as well as the other employees. Like, everybody's just kind of puts their heart into building the business every year, and it's just it's a clean, fun, safe place these days.
So tell me about some of the products that you carry, and what are the bikes that you carry?
I'll let Brandon do some.
Okay,
talk.
Brandon, tell me. Well, wait, how did Brandon come? Because I knew Brandon actually when you were at SRAM, and then you and your wife Kelsey had your wedding at the Buffalo Lodge Bicycle Resort. How is that, 1 or 2 years ago?
That was we got married a year ago.
A year ago. Okay,
we just had our anniversary on Monday.
Congratulations!
Yeah, thank you.
I love that bicycle wedding because you guys tell us where you went and what you did.
Yeah, so our wedding, we actually picked a place up off of Rampart Range Road. It was kind of I guess what I would call a little pop-up wedding. You know, we found a place up top that had a great view of Pikes Peak, tied the knot, and everybody in our wedding party, including Todd was my best man in the wedding, rode our bikes back down the mountain straight to Buffalo Lodge.
That was amazing.
It was really cool.
Your wife looked so hot in that little wedding bicycle dress.
Yeah, well, I definitely couldn't say no seeing her in that dress. Yeah.
And how many people do you have? That was such a cool sight to watch all these mountain bikers come down the hill after like a legit bicycle wedding.
It was a whole wedding party.
Yeah, the whole wedding party rode down. We had I would say about 25 people riding down.
Okay.
So it was really cool doing it, all that. And we had our bikes, of course, in the wedding. That's a big part of everything for me and Kelsey. That's how we met. I actually hired Kelsey at the bike shop. And,
I said, Brandon, hire a girl.
Yeah, and I have the agreement with Kelsey now that I'm no longer allowed to hire any females at the bike shop. But I worked at the bike shop for about 5 years before I went to SRAM for a couple years. And I think it was just a random winter day. I decided to stop in the shop, and me and Todd started shooting the shit, talking to each other, and next thing I know, it's like we're best friends. And he said, "You want a job?" And I said, "Yeah, hell yeah, I want a job." And from there, we just kind of grew our relationship through the shop on a personal level, and
started racing.
Yeah, started doing a lot of racing together.
And a race team.
Yeah.
You guys like that Trestle Bike Park a lot, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're a big sponsor of the shop.
Yeah.
Them in Bristol.
That's great.
Yeah, we love to do our gravity riding, as well as, I like to commute on my bike, but mountain biking is kind of our big focus, which leads me back to what we sell and what we do in the shop. Primarily, we do a lot of mountain bike stuff. I feel like there's enough bike shops in this town to where we can kind of pick what we really like and where our passion's at, which people will tell you, when they come into the shop and they talk to us about a bike, they can tell that, man, these guys really love what they're selling. Not that we don't sell road bikes or commuter bikes, because we still do, but I think you can tell a little bit of a difference when you're talking to us about different bikes in the shop, that, man, those guys, they're into their mountain bikes.
So what are your brands?
So we're doing Yeti's one of our main brands, Specialized, Intense, GT, and we just picked up Norco. So we got some of what we think are some of the best brands in the market, as well as this season. A big change for us is we're bringing in snow sports. just to kind of keep the busy season going year round, right? So we're going to be doing ski bike rentals. We'll be one of the first bike shops in town to sell and rent ski bikes.
I want to do that.
Which, if you've never ridden one,
I heard it's nothing like riding a bike and it's nothing like skiing.
Well, and I tell people, if you can ski or snowboard and you can ride a bike, you can get on a ski bike and you're going to have a good time.
That's awesome. So are you partnering with any kind of shuttles or anything like that, or you'll just rent the seat? Is it any kind of special equipment to haul a ski bike up to the mountains?
Not really, no. I mean, to get up there, you're going to do the same as you do with your skis or your snowboard. The ski bike might be a little bit more of a pain because it's a little bigger, but, it's got its pros and cons of things it can do. If you're on a ski bike, that long lift line that you're standing in all awkwardly in your skis or snowboard, well, now you can just sit and relax and drink your beer or, whatever else you decide to do in the lift line.
That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to tell everybody in the world about it.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really cool. That's really another way that we can keep biking in the winter. So that's awesome.
And we're trying to focus on Colorado brands. Like we're bringing in Lynn's, which is a Colorado brand ski bike. The snowboards that we're bringing in, then Weston and Venture, they're both Colorado brands. So we're doing what we can to support Colorado brands and, hope that works out really well for us, which I feel like it will.
That's great. Well, Rocky Mountain Rides and Paper Street Shuttle are two great shuttle services and stuff that you can always partner up with or tell people to go to get their bikes up the mountain. Well, I know that when you get great employees, as a hotel that's seasonal too, you just want to do whatever you can to keep the business going so you can keep these great people busy, all year and stuff. But, but
yeah, that's one of the bummers about a bike shop. When you're in seasonal areas like the Springs is when you get slow, you don't really want to let off anybody because, they might get a job that they're going to do good at and stay there and not come back. It's hard to find good people. So creating something that we can, keep doing in the wintertime is going to help us with that.
Well, one of the reasons why they do these podcasts is just to let people know who our local bike shops are, what they specialize in, and so that you can go out and support your local bike shop because, local bike shops the numbers are dwindling dramatically. Oh, yeah. And in Colorado Springs, we still have so many amazing locally owned bike shops and stuff. And so we just want to tell everybody about it and keep you doing what you're doing in your neighborhood and, keep you outfitting everybody. But I do understand that you do not have to be a cool mountain biker with tons of experience to walk in your shop, right, Danny? I'm kidding.
Whoa.
No, I'm teasing.
I'm cool. Right?
No, you're cool.
Rob,
you're cool.
cool.
No, but you said you got your bike somewhere. You told me in our pre-interview that you got your bike somewhere else, and and then finally you were like, "I need to."
Tori, these guys are sleepers right here. I'm telling you. He says, he just started 8-9 years ago. Go ahead and tell them about what you guys just did this season.
I'm 55 years old. My first mountain bike race was 5 years ago, and Rob and I did the Leadville 100 this year.
Leadville 100, yeah.
Congratulations.
Belt buckles.
Yeah, we wore them.
We wore them.
You can't see that on the
Wait, we're going to have to take a picture after this, and we'll post it in our show notes. Congratulations. That's hardcore.
Well, and, no mechanicals. That's a key to a big ride like that is you have a mechanical for, guys like us that love to ride, but maybe not efficient about fixing things on the trail to have a bike, that
you could
pounding on for 105 miles. It's not the Leadville 100. It's 105 miles, 104.5 or something. It's crazy. But, man, I was on this new Yeti that was only a month or so ago. These guys fitted me beautifully on it.
They built it? And
they both came and got new bikes from us a few months before the race.
Yeah. I broke one during the Apex. Finished that, went in. Brandon was checking it over, and you hate to get that phone call from your bike shop, and he's like, Rob, you need to come look at this. Oh, what? And it just had a hairline fracture in the bike I was riding. So then you're thinking, I'm going to have to be on a bike for a long time, a month or 6 weeks from now. And these guys, they suggest, I switched brands, which was a little scary too.
Yes.
And I tell you, I got on it, they built it, they suggested it, and little tweaks, I was more comfortable and more comfortable. And man, it was like riding. It was a dream to ride on for 100 miles. It was amazing. So tribute to them to just making me comfortable out there.
I know what it feels like. You really just depend on good local mechanics to make sure, because you can hurt yourself seriously, or even, I don't know if it's worse to get hurt or just to get a flat or have some kind of mechanical at the beginning of a race and not get to do the race, right?
Or uncomfortable.
Right, or just be uncomfortable and not have the right bike fit. So you guys are very passionate about this shop. Obviously, you're here today. So tell me about what you like about Bicycle Experience.
Let's see. I did my first, I've done Apex all 5 years.
So that's
And
the Apex
the Pikes
race
Peak
by,
Apex race,
by RockShox. It's now a 3-stage mountain bike race right here in Colorado Springs. And so you've done that how many years?
Every year for 5 years now.
Fantastic.
And every year I take my bike to Brandon, after the race day. He gives it the once over, a little bit of holy water, and I have not had a mechanical during that race. Because mechanical, the guy who won Leadville this year, he had a flat tire, fixed it, and still almost broke a course record. I'm like, okay.
Crazy.
I'm like out for an hour. Like, somebody on the sidelines know how to fix this? Where's Brandon? Anyway, so for me, and I think it's really reflective of what Todd and Brandon both said. Their entire staff, you just walk in there to a friendly face. I've been into other bike shops. They roll their eyes at me. They harumph. I'm like, guys, I got a day job, right? And I really don't want to become a bicycle mechanic expert. So I love the fact that they are just like, bring it in here. I say, bike wrong. They say, let's put it in the stand, take a look. Oh, the headset's loose. Oh, gosh, you need brake pads. Let's get this rolling. We'll get you moving again. So
I think that's amazing because, why would you ever want to make a customer feel stupid because they don't know how to fix a bike? Most of us do have other day jobs and stuff, and we haven't had all the training.
It can be sad to see some of these bikes come in. It really can.
Yeah.
But we work through it. And we love to see them, so that's the good thing.
Yeah, it's people. It
keeps them coming back. Don't become a good mechanic, man.
I have.
Good thing the mechanic school moved from Colorado Springs, right?
They have. Well, Danny's not very good at this yet, but I do spray my bike down at least a little before I take it into these guys. This guy will drop his bike off covered in mud. So
clean bikes too?
We clean them, and I clean Danny's quite a bit. And, I think the friendship that we have that outweighs how dirty his bike is for sure. And,
There's different levels of.
I drive by it 5 times a day, just because it's right in the neighborhood, corridor of everything I love to go to. You see these guys in the parking lot, you wave to them, they're teaching someone how to get set up on a bike. It's great. I think the most important thing about, just aging and you got to be part of a community, and biking is that for a lot of us, and you have friends that do it. You meet great people that own businesses doing it, and it's important. We're really lucky to be in these kind of communities because a lot of people in the world just don't have these relationships, and that's what you need to feel young, to feel strong, and people that help you along. I love to ride, but I can't do what they do.
It's a great point, Rob, because the bike's a tool, it's exercise, it's therapy. Yeah. Goodness knows it's therapy. It's recreational, and it is about community. And the fact we have a group of guys, Rob and I, we ride every Thursday basically and do our thing. But our community has expanded into Bicycle Experience. And so the guys we call ourselves Bike Club, whatever, all
lowercase.
All lowercase, yeah. We don't mess around. Anyway, but we've expanded our community into the bike shop, and into those friendships as well. So it really is an expanding community of people who love to be on their bike,
Well, that when you walk into Bicycle Experience, that it is a little bit more like family when Carl greets you at the door.
Yes.
Tell us about Carl, Todd.
He's either on the counter or sitting at the door, bugging people when they come in, or maybe even puking on the road. You never know what you're going to get, but I think people love to see like a little dog or a little cat in a business. I think it humanizes what we do. It calms people down. We get a lot of I think people just forget that we're just human beings just trying to live our lives, peacefully. And, they bring their attitude in sometimes and they check it at the door when Carl's like kind of just standing there like, hey, pet my belly, bro. And so he's become a character in the shop, and it's been fun to get you'll have to stop by to get some Carl koozies.
And
we
Carl's
got Carl,
on your hat.
Yeah, we got Carl baseball hats, which we're restocking. We just got his latest T-shirt in that's kind of like a Coors logo on it, and it's really I never saw the T-shirts fly out the shelves and the hats as fast as they do these days, because the families that come in, all the time that, hey, fix my flat, or and their kids, want to come in and see Carl, so they end up getting a Carl water bottle and a baseball hat, and
it's
I
brilliant.
love
So
that,
Carl is the four-legged feline, red-haired cat,
Mouser,
that
number 1.
Mouser that guards the shop and that door that greets you, and then I love the big placard that Shrim made for you guys when you come in that says "Send it, Carl."
Send it for Carl.
Send it for
That's
Carl.
Send it for
Send
Carl.
it for Carl.
Which we have customers come in sometimes and we'll greet them and they say, "Oh, we're just here to see Carl." We're like, okay, fair enough. I get it. I come in sometimes just to see Carl.
So Carl even has his own Instagram, yes?
Yep. At Carl the Shop Cat.
At Carl the Shop Cat on Instagram. You can. So what might you see on at Carl the Shop Cat on Instagram?
Some hilarious photos that all of us take during his daily life. He's pretty much spends happy hour with us, and he'll just sit there and be right in the middle of all of us talking, and sometimes he'll jump from bike to bike, and we've had him fall out of the ceiling tiles before. He used to get into a lot more mischief, but I think he's kind of gotten comfortable with his surroundings, but who knows what he does at night. But yeah,
if you're lucky, you'll come in and buy a piece of apparel, and it'll have some Carl hair on it.
Yeah.
We don't charge extra.
Yeah, that's free. That's free.
I love it. So, what do you love, Brandon, so much about Bicycle Experience? Why is that home to you?
Bicycle Experience is home to me just mainly because the people that I work with, side by side. Todd's my boss. He's also one of my best friends. I met my wife there. The other guys that work there, we're all good friends. It's not just employees working together to get through your day. We come in and shoot the shit with each other and work on bikes. It's great. It's a small enough shop to where, we are all family.
And the wrenches are right there. You walk in the door and there's the shop. You're watching everybody do their work and work right there.
You can sit at the bar and watch bikes get worked on while you're drinking a Bristol beer. We do Bristol beer samples after 5, or really any time if a customer requires one.
I feel like we were there before.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanna come in and watch your bike get worked on and drink a beer from Bristol, you're more than welcome.
That's awesome.
It's maybe something a little different than other shops do, but it fits our vibe and our shop of how we want to operate, so it works well.
Mike Bristol and all his kids have had bikes from us, and he's stepped back from the brewery a little bit, but I still see him every once in a while, and he's been there since the beginning, and I think it's just been great seeing the school improve through the years. That's been great for the neighborhood.
Well, they really made their name because of their philanthropy. They just were very generous owners with the local bike community. They used to sponsor our Buena Vista Bike Festival that I used to put on up there, and they were always donating beer for the cause and made lots of friends over bike rides up in BV, thanks to Bristol. And while they're not in the day-to-day, it's still their brand, and they're locally owned, and it's amazing. So you got to come over to Bicycle Experience and then head over to Bristol for a beer.
Yeah, for sure.
If you don't want to drink it and watch your bike getting fixed.
Which we a lot of times will tell people, hey, just go across the street, get something to eat. We'll change your tires out, come back over and grab it before we close, and it works out great.
That's brilliant.
I get the feeling that like the bikes come in and they're out pretty quick. For guys like Danny and I, we're doing some things. You bring the bikes in. These guys are so nice. If they're working on a bunch of stuff, it just we'll call you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, sounds good. There's never any anxiety thinking I'm going to be out with a bike for 5 days, 6 days, unless it's
not riding.
My experience, not riding. My experience has been. Well, they've taught me to have 2 bikes is better than 1. But,
and
nice
plus,
sales there, yes.
and actually, all riders of Colorado Springs, it is better to have a choice.
There's such a variety of terrain, so you really can have something for the different terrain.
But I don't. We don't get special attention, but I feel like everybody gets special attention there. You walk in, they look at your bike, they love that you ride. And they pick it up. Sometimes they put it on the stand, and it's fixed. You're like, wow, that's amazing. How come we can't do that?
I love the people watch there. I'll go in and have a beer and sit on a stool, and then Carl's got his own stool, and you kind of watch. I'm not in a rush for my stuff. I'm just watching them manage the personalities and the people that come in. It's a mother with a child who's busy into everything. That kid starts disturbing Carl, and the mother's able to concentrate on her conversation with Brandon and Todd and the team. It's some guy who looks super fit who's in there with real bike questions. I don't even understand those conversations. Right? I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm like, wow, that's a part of my bike too. Like I've never seen that. And which one's that? And then a lot of just regular people in there. Asking questions, shopping the bike selections. So it's really fun. And I think again, Todd and Brandon said earlier. The entire staff there loves what they do, and they love what they're representing. And you can just hear that in your voice. I'm a business owner. I'm a physician in town. I have 40 employees. When people love what they do, and that comes across to every person that walks in the door. And I feel that happens when people come into Bicycle Experience.
And their employees, they 100%, all of them know what they're doing. I mean, you bring your bike in. These guys are busy. Nick picks it up and it's just gone. It's going to be fixed. It's going to be fixed properly.
Do you work on e-bikes?
We do work on e-bikes as much as we can. Obviously, all the brands that we sell of e-bikes, we can work on 100%.
It's a difficult genre right now.
There are a lot of online e-bikes these days that we certainly try to help people out as much as we can, but sometimes there's electrical issues on these Chinese e-bikes that I don't think any bike shop can fix.
Yeah, I think we probably can't say that enough over and over again. You want to buy local, shop local, where you're going to have your bike serviced, and someone, because you can buy that bike online and it's going to break down, and you need a shop, and you might as well give that business to the local shop where you're going to have it serviced, let them set you up. You're going to need the bike fit. You need it all. You need to connect with your local bike shop.
Yep.
So you said that, sorry, Danny, didn't you say that your kids got their bikes from?
Yeah, Fletcher got his, but my daughter too. Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. So how long have you been a customer at Bicycle Experience?
Probably 6 or 7 years. My first time on a mountain bike was 8 years ago. And I had a rough introduction by this guy next to me, Rob, who's been mountain biking for like 25 or 30 years. And again, I'm 55 years old, so I was kind of new to this game. And 5 years ago, I did my first bike race, and I love doing them. And I can't get enough of them. And I do bike packing trips. I actually took my Yeti SB 130 and outfitted it with a rack on the back so I could ride from Telluride to Moab with a bunch of friends. No mechanicals. I was like, dude, these guys are awesome. I mean, have you ever seen this rack before? It's Old Man Mountain rack. I've never seen it before. I can't read the instructions. Can you? Like, yeah, we got this, Danny.
When Danny and I are riding together, these guys still won't put rocks or water in his tires for me.
I don't know how much Rob has tried to pay me to fill up Danny's tires with water, but
right. Couple BBs in the handlebars.
Haven't done it yet.
So, I mean, it took until Leadville for me to beat you.
Okay, so we know you love trestle, but what do you love about mountain biking in the Springs? All of you.
Well, mountain biking in the Springs, for me, I would say it's probably the community. We can go out there and rather it's customers that we see or friends through the shop, whoever it is, we're always running into somebody that we know out there.
I love that.
And I
love
mean,
riding the canyon.
I'm at the
seeing
point,
people
where
like that.
I'm not going out there anymore to be the fastest person. I'm not, I'm not finding my joy from being the fastest person. I'm finding my joy from running into all of our friends out there. And it's becoming more of a social sport for us these days instead of a competitive sport.
What are some of your favorite places to ride?
Hands down, I would say my favorite place to ride is down Pikes Peak. I think that's probably one of my top rides in all of Colorado.
People come from all over the world to do this, but you need to know if you're coming to Colorado Springs to ride down Pikes Peak, this is not anything other than a double black ride.
There's some challenging spots, yeah, and it's great because we can shuttle up there, ride down, and our ride ends at the bike shop. To where there's some Bristol beers for us to drink. There's customers to hang out with, and we just shoot the shit and talk about how awesome that ride just was.
That's awesome. So, what are your favorite rides in the area?
You go.
Palmer Park. I rode there when I was a kid. Grew up over by the Colorado Springs Racket Club. Off of Oro Blanco and that stuff. So just riding.
I'm from Maysland.
Oh, yeah. Enchanted and all those other roads. Palmer Park, I love it because I still make wrong turns there. I just never know where I'm.
We don't like it.
Right. And I embrace that. Sometimes you're like, this is great. Have I been on this? I don't know. And then it ends.
It doesn't seem like it would be that big, but it's massive.
It's massive.
I miss the 24 hours of Colorado Springs that they used to do up there
I
big
never
time.
did that, but that would have been fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then Todd, what about you?
Just to echo what Brandon was saying is, if we do a shop ride after work, 3 or 4 of us go up there, it just kind of.
You're at the base of North Cheyenne Canyon. You're right there.
So, just as a shop, we always agree: meet at Stratton, go ride until dark in the summer, or go ride until our e-bike batteries. Of course, we don't, well, out of Stratton, but anyway. There's a lot of fun going down. We're just kind of hooting, hollering, saying hi to people out of the corner of our eyes throughout the whole ride. And they're like, hey, Brandon, hey, Todd, and just people waving at us. And I love it how it kind of all converges on the bike shop. People just pop in before they go ride Captain Jack's because they forgot something, and it leads to conversation or something. So generally, I think I've just kind of developed this love for just getting up into the canyon and just kind of seeing some people around up there, or blowing off some steam with Brandon on like a Friday afternoon, and us just kind of chasing each other off whatever little jump we could find, or him tempting me to make it down a steep portion that I should not be going down. I'm 54 now, so I'm aging a little bit, and he doesn't seem to be.
Well, right. I have a feeling you might be a little bit younger.
But yeah, I'm as long as I'm having fun, it's just, that's what it's all about. That's what keeps the passion alive. Yeah. And I think that's all of us and all my employees.
Well, don't you think it's just an exciting time for mountain biking in Colorado Springs with all the new trail building that's going on with,
Kisimba.
With everything that Kisimba's doing, everything that Medicine Wheel, Rocky Mountain Field Institute, Trails and Open Spaces. We have some really great nonprofits that support our trails, and the city's committed to it. But the addition of trails like Captain Morgan's and Black Sheep, and then what they're getting ready to do up in Peregrine, and then we're going to get a mountain bike park. Yeah. With lifts and everything, like, pinch me, right?
Well, and I Thomas, I love. We're out for our fun ride on Thursday night. We see all the high school kids. And holy cow, that's I really love that.
They're fast.
Watching
They're
fast.
The next gen. They're
rode
fast.
by me on my little solo ride the other night, and I was like, wait, what? Huh? Yeah. I got out of their way.
Right. They're like, oh, there's a rider back. And I'm like, no, just keep going. Yeah. Just keep going. I'm good.
I'm smoked, and they're just steaming
To
by.
me, that, my son years ago was kind of an infancy part of that high school. And now it's It's crazy. I
Yeah,
love
we
it.
didn't
And they're
have
real
mountain bike
riders.
clubs
Yes.
when we were young.
Yeah, never.
It's
Yeah.
blowing up with all the
Blowing up.
different high school mountain biking clubs and everything.
Yeah.
And then, with all the new races coming to
Yeah.
town for the Colorado High School Mountain Biking League out in Fountain and everything.
Yeah, down at
so
the
it's
school down there.
it's
Yeah.
good times for mountain biking. So what else would you want to talk about? What have we missed when it comes to the shop and what people should know?
I mean, we touched on our kind of our winter retail this winter, and we're basically just starting to get some stuff set up in the shop. So if you're a summer customer and you just kind of maybe go to another place for your winter fun, stop by and check us out, because we already have some ski bikes in that we're going to be doing some weekend rentals and some sales on those, and the snowboards that we got it's giving the shop a different look. We're not just going to be a ski shop. We're going to be doing all the same things that we do in the summer, but we're going to just have a portion of the shop where we're going to be capturing some of those snowboarders and such. So,
And the winters
keep
are
it
a really
going.
great time to get your bike serviced
yeah, for sure.
or buy another bike for winter riding.
Yeah. A lot quicker return in your service in the wintertime. And to buy a bike, too. We have so many sales going
For
on in the
Christmas.
shop, because the point of retail is not to be a museum. So, come on by and check out a bike now for next year, because they're at the best prices ever.
Right now, it's the best prices
Oh,
ever. That's awesome.
absolutely.
So what's coming up new and exciting for the shop?
Probably
Besides the
stuff.
snowboarding,
Yeah.
okay.
We do a friends we haven't spoke about this yet, but every year we do a Friendsgiving.
Yes.
And we started this for the mountain bike team about, 5-6 years ago, it seems like, Friendsgiving. And it kind of morphed into the fundraiser for Happy Cats Haven.
Yep.
And it's kind of Carl took over this party, I guess. But me and the boys get together a ton of local raffle items, and they forced me to just kind of MC the thing, and just do a ton of mountain bike parts or whatever. Molly from Shrim and Chris will come over and donate stuff. The caffeinated cow.
Yes.
They give us stuff, and just all the local people that support the shop support it with items. And so Carl will send some money over to Happy Cats, and we'll have kind of like a local food company cater the party, and it's usually standing room only when we do that. I think, what are we going to be like the first or second weekend in November, but we'll put it out on social media, and we're trying to just make it better every year than the previous year was. I think that's probably the biggest event.
That's the biggest thing coming up.
Yeah.
We'll raise as much money, or we say Carl raises the money.
Yeah.
And then the bike shop matches that, and we give it to Happy Cats Haven.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I think
That's who Carl
$2,500
chose. Yeah.
last year, I think it was.
Yeah.
And that's a lot when you just got a bunch of mountain bikers that just want free SRAM hats. Trying to get them to donate could be a challenge, but we do. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
so
Thanks for
much.
having us here.
It's
today.
been
Yeah,
great
thank
to
you.
have you here. Just keep up the great riding, and we look forward to sending more customers your way. Thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Thank you for watching the Pedal the Springs podcast on Studio 809. The Pedal the Springs podcast is produced by the Buffalo Lodge Bicycle Resort, the only must-stay for bike-themed lodging in Colorado Springs. We're located at studio809podcast.com. Check out the show notes for more information about things that we talked about in this episode. And the Pedal the Springs podcast is produced at the Next Us Studios, which is a professional cooperative environment for small businesses in downtown Colorado Springs.